Hi there, I'm James King, a retired businessman turned self-published author of thriller novels, short stories and poetry. Some people say I'm too old to start a new business. I say, what am I going to do with the rest of my life if I don't put what I have learned to good use helping others? I should say I'm not used to making videos of myself, and as this is a one-way conversation, I'm going to have to guess what your questions might be. You may want to know how James King blog started. Well, in my student days, I wanted to go to art college, probably because I liked the bohemian lifestyle, but it never actually happened. Since then, I've always leaned towards creative pursuits, taken a natural interest in the arts, performing arts and visual arts particularly. And as I got older, environment, human rights, literature and travel all fascinated me. So about 10 years ago I studied writing for a whole year, and then I did the same with photography when I didn't write during that period. Then I started a blog and I just wrote about anything that interested me. As you can see if you go to look at my early posts on the blog. It was by accident that most of what I wrote about fell into the arts and humanities. Then as my writing improved, I started to write books, which I found very different and far more demanding than writing blog posts. For example, one novel would take about 15 edits, so there's an awful lot of reading involved, and that's really not necessary with blog posts, I find. So the next question is that I think you might pose: how did the blog evolve? Well, one day I realised I was left with a pile of books, thousands of photos, and a hobby blog, all of which had taken years to put together, but it was earning no more than $20 a month from book sales on Amazon. So I called my friend and business associate of 25 years, Henk, in South Africa, who is an ex-merchant banker and a corporate finance wizard. And I said to him, Henk, would you be interested in raising some money to start a small publishing business? And he said, tell me more. So I did, and that's why I'm here talking to you today. Your next question may be, where is the blog going? Well, I'd actually never thought about it, but I realised at some point how important the arts and humanities were in our daily lives, and the role they played. They cover disciplines of memory and imagination and tell us where we've been and help us envision where we are going. So my vision is to build a resource for anyone who wants to learn about the broad subject or specific parts of it, such as environment, human rights, or literature, for example. Our first objective is to build a base of roughly 150 quality articles in each of 7 categories, and we want to do that by April 2024. Then I want to write more on how mankind will not survive unless we change our thinking and stop relying on outdated methods. A good example is how countries in the UAE, for example, have spent their oil wealth on building modern cities on old technology, which require huge amounts of unnatural energy at vast expense and damage to the environment. They are actually unsustainable long term. And as the world's population heads towards 10 billion by 2050, new cities will have to be built on modern technology where there are no glass buildings and transport is underground, for example, and so on. Now, with the blog, we are building a topical map, which is 5 to 10 main topics in each category. At a guess, I would say we are about halfway there, with about 500 topics, including keywords, and 150 published posts as of today. I could go on, but I can see that a lot of you are tiring a little bit. So it's now over to you. Goodbye, and thank you for listening.